I'll tell you one thing, the pharmaceutical companies in Japan have made a killing in profits off of mask production. Hey everyone, welcome into another episode of the Expat Files, where I, expat, talk about things revolving around the world of gaming, entertainment, pop culture, as well as my time living in Japan, as well as news stories throughout Japan and around the world. So, in this episode, episode 2, the title of this episode is Masks, Dragons, and Game Fests. So, we're going to be talking about, uh, mask wearing in Japan. I can kind of give you a little background of that and talk about it. And then we're going to jump into the entertainment portion and talk about House of the Dragon. Season 2 is coming soon. So I want to talk a little bit about that. And then finally, on the gaming side, we have a bunch of events coming up in the next week or so. So I'd like to give my opinions on these particular events. So, yeah, so this is a show where I, expat, talk about a lot of things that you wouldn't hear me really talk about during the other podcast shows that we do here on the Arena Productions. And just one little programming note about the Expat Files. This show goes into early access over on Patreon, patreon.com/the Arena Productions for the first 2 days for patrons. And it also goes to the YouTube channel for YouTube members in early access for the first 2 days. And then it goes to the free audio feeds. So wherever you get your podcasts, you can listen to the Expat Files. So, yeah. So this show is early access, but also it goes to the free feeds. This is generally an audio based podcast. My other video based show, the Expat Files Vlog, you can check out on the YouTube channel here. But so let's do this. First, I want to talk about mask wearing in Japan, wearing masks. Now, like I said, if you've listened to the first episode, I talked a little bit about coming to Japan and why I wanted to come to Japan. And the thing about being in Japan, especially when it comes to the safety, people also think about their health as well as other people's health and well-being in Japanese society. And I want to talk about mask wearing because I want to give you kind of a background of what it's like to live in Japan and see probably about 80% of the population still wearing masks. So I want to give a kind of a background of how this started. In the 1980s, during the Showa era, late Showa era, in the Tokyo area, there was a lot of open space around the Tokyo area, which the government decided, let's plant cedar trees. In Japanese, it's called sugi trees, planting sugi trees around the country, particularly in the Kanto and Tokyo area. Well, the thing about cedar trees is they're they produce a lot of dust, which is very allergic to many people. Now, I don't know if the government thought about this um, before they started planting these trees, but I'll tell you one thing: the pharmaceutical companies in Japan have made a killing in profits off of mask production. Because what happens when you have severe allergy symptoms? You get watery eyes, you get runny noses. And in the spring in Japan, which is the heart of the allergy season, which is the heart of the allergy season in a lot of the world, but still in Japan around April, it's really bad. And so people started wearing masks to protect themselves from the the cedar pollen and the cedar allergies. And one other thing is, I'm going to compare this to America. In the United States, I think it's a seasonal thing. So let me know in the comments if I'm wrong here, but you can go to a clinic in the United States or to a hospital and you can get an allergy vaccination, an allergy shot. They don't give allergy shots here in Japan. They give seasonal flu shots, but they don't give allergy shots. So people go to clinics and they get prescribed medication for allergies. They go to local pharmacies, which there are an abundant amount of pharmacies here in Japan. You have the Matsumoto Kiyoshi company, you have Tsuruha company, you have many different company uh, pharmaceutical stores here in Japan that have medication you can buy for allergies. And what they also have are masks. And I think these pharmaceutical companies have made a killing off of the fact that cedar trees were planted throughout, especially throughout the Kanto area. So that's kind of a background of the the production of masks and how people started to wear masks around the country. And then COVID came, and COVID became another uh, means for even more people around the country to start wearing masks because masks became mandated uh, in the school system. For example, all the teachers were required to wear masks. All of the students were required to wear masks in the schools. Now, because COVID is, you know, it's not a big problem now. I mean, because we have vaccinations and all for COVID, and so there's not as many cases as there were, during the height of the pandemic. But still, uh, people wear masks in the school system, but it's not mandatory now. It's optional, but still, a lot of teachers and some students still wear them. But I want to talk a little bit about the societal situation with mask wearing, um, especially in the social sense. There are a lot of Japanese people, So let me know in the comments about a country that you might be living in that maybe it's different. But in Japan, uh, there are some people that wore masks even before COVID started. It, it's a way to shield themselves from showing their entire face to others. It's a sense of insecurity, and it's like that a lot in the school system, particularly in the high school system. Uh, a lot of kids will wear a mask not because they have allergies, not because they're afraid of getting COVID, but because they don't want to show their entire face to others. With the internet and how social media is today, and during COVID especially, uh, people just they were isolated from everyone. And I know this was prevalent in the United States as well. A lot of people just could not go outside. So it became a society that lived online. And so now you have some people that still are insecure, worried about catching, an illness, or worried about getting COVID. But particularly in Japan, for example, I'm walking down the street and I'm not wearing a mask, and another person is walking, and we're about to walk by each other, and that person will quickly pop out their mask and put it on their face because they see that I'm not wearing a mask. So there are still insecurities when it comes to mask wearing. It's a bit unfortunate, but that's the society that has been produced due to COVID, and also due to um, the cedar trees that were planted back in the late Showa era in the 1980s. Okay, let's move on to our entertainment portion. So let's talk about dragons. House of the Dragon season 2 is coming to HBO Max. It's coming very soon. It's coming, I think, the middle of the month. The Targaryen Civil War is about to begin. And spoiler alert, if you didn't see the end of season 1, boy oh boy, Vagar, that huge beast of a dragon opening its huge trap and almost swallowing whole that small dragon and its rider, the son of Rhaenyra. And you see Rhaenyra's face when she hears that her son had perished, and you just see the anguish and the hatred building on her face as the season concludes. Well, now we're going to get the beginning of the Targaryen Civil War, the blacks against the greens. And I'm interested to see uh, how Winterfell is going to be depicted in this series, because Rhaenyra's other son is on his way to Winterfell to meet with uh, the head of the Stark family, who's about close to the same age as Rhaenyra's son. And I'm really excited to see what Winterfell is going to look like. And there have been scenes that have been shown in the trailers showing them walking on the wall. So he's going to be Rhaenyra's son's going to be going to the wall, and you're going to see the Night's Watch as well. Will we see the Night King? No. Will we get anything regarding the army of the dead or anything like that? Probably not. But what I'm really excited for also is just to see the rivalry between Rhaenyra and her, you know, her former friend, you know, that is now, of course, the mother of Aegon II. And I'm interested to see how Aegon II compares to Joffrey in a sense in season 2. We're most likely going to get the storming of King's Landing by Rhaenyra, and Rhaenyra probably coming in to rule in King's Landing. How far we're going to get, I don't know. Most likely this will be 4 seasons at the most. I think George R.R. Martin was saying that uh, they want it to be about 4 seasons to get through the Targaryen Civil War. Matt Smith, just an amazing actor. I can't wait to see him in this series in season 2 and how he goes into battle. Let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to in season 2. Really excited for it, and it comes out middle of the month on HBO Max, and we will be doing recap and review episodes for each episode that comes out. So we're excited for that. So stay tuned for that on the Arena Productions. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about Game Fests, because we got a lot of games that are going to be shown off. We got a lot of events that are coming up. Starting on June 7th, we've got the Summer Game Fest. But for me out here in Japan, it's at 6 a.m. on June 8th. So that's the thing about these game events for all of us out here in Japan. Of course, Tokyo Game Show is a different beast, different thing in itself. But, when E3 used to be around, I'd have to wake up really early in the morning to watch these. 6 a.m. on June 8th in Japan, but out in the West, 2 p.m. Pacific time on the 7th. And it's a live event. One of the only live events, actually. And Jeff Keighley will be hosting as usual. And that's what I respect about Jeff Keighley is, he wants to do these live events so that he can get people engaged. I know there's a lot of people that don't like all of the advertising aspect of it. And yeah, I can understand that. But at least we get to see a lot of games that are coming either in the near future or in the next year. And there's always some surprises. Whether it's the Summer Game Fest, whether it's the opening night live for Gamescom in August, or if it's during the Game Awards in December in Los Angeles. Jeff Keighley usually, has us on the edge of our seats for certain things, as well as his relationship with Kojima. Everybody's, wondering what's going on between the two of them, what's going on with Kojima and his games, whether you think he's overrated or not, whether you think he's a genius when it comes to, making video games. But anyway, Summer Game Fest. Yeah. Looking forward to that. It's a live event, but of course, not everybody can attend, so millions will be watching online. And then we have some other events. We have the Day of the Devs, which is on June 7th as well at 4 p.m. We have Devolver Direct on June 7th at 5 p.m. The Future of Play Direct, which is on June 8th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. The Wholesome Direct, which is on June 8th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. The Latin American Games Showcase. So that's 10 a.m. Pacific time on June 8th. And then we have the women's led studios Summer Game Fest on June 8th at 11:30 a.m. So that's an interesting thing. I'm excited for that. The Future Games Show on June 9th at 12 p.m. Actually, I'm sorry. That's it's on the 7th, actually, at 12 p.m. Pacific time. And then we have the Xbox Games Showcase, and following it, the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Direct, which is on June 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Followed by, and then the PC Game Show on June 9th at 1 p.m. And then last but certainly not least, the Ubisoft Forward on June 10th at 12 p.m. Pacific time, which I'm really excited for. And I've talked about this on the podcast. The Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplay reveal is going to come out. We've already had a cinematic trailer. And I talked about this on the first episode of the Expat Files about Yasuke, who will be one of the main protagonists. But at least now we're going to see gameplay. What kind of gameplay is there? The Xbox Showcase, we're going to get a Gears 6 announcement. I'm excited for that. I'm a Gears of War fan. Looking forward to that. So let us know in the comments what you're looking forward to in these showcases. But my question to you is digital versus live. So Jeff Keighley is headlining the live event. But still, the majority of these shows have gone digital now. And a lot of these, presenters and the companies that run everything, they don't want to spend the money to do live events anymore. And that's why we saw the end of E3. Like PlayStation, Xbox, and everybody, even Nintendo. Nintendo's their own beast, but they just didn't want to do live events. They didn't want to pay for it. So that's why we have the state of plays now. That's why we have the, the developer directs for Xbox and things like that. That's kind of replaced E3. But I go way, way back to the days when it was Sega, PlayStation, Nintendo on stage. Even 5-6 years ago, we still had like PlayStation, their showcase, and the Xbox, they had their event live during E3. The anticipation, the build up for all of the big games and everything. Yeah. But I have to admit, PlayStation dominated the PS4 era, especially E3. I mean, those were some amazing events. So let me know in the comments what you think of the way the structure of these events are now when it comes to digital versus live. And I'm interested to get questions from you for the Expat Files. Questions about Japan, questions about myself, questions about entertainment or pop culture related topics, or topics from around the world. Anything is okay. I'm looking forward to hearing from you all, and some of your questions might be read during the next episodes or so. So anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of the Expat Files. And I hope you all have a great week of gaming, a great week of watching all of your favorite entertainment and pop culture related content. And for any of you that are coming to Japan or thinking about coming to Japan and you have any questions related to Japan, throw them in the comments and maybe I'll address them in the next episode. So anyway, this is Expat. Hope you all have a great week, everyone, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.